Hey everybody, this is Dave from Drummond Home Garden. Today I'm out taking care of some of our willow trees. They're actually a shrub willow, the Salix integra, Japanese dappled willow, and a couple of them have died and some others need some severe pruning. So that's what we're going to take care of today. So let me show you. See right here, these two willow trees, willow shrubs, are completely dead. They've been knocked down, they're rotting, and the bulk of that is probably caused by these beautiful birch trees that I planted too close in proximity to the willows, and it's completely shaded them out from the sunlight. So, and down the line there, those are just overgrown. So they all need to be kind of cut back to about 4 to 5 feet tall so they can put out some new growth and so that they don't overtake the kid's swing set. So that's what I'm working on. I'll be back when I've got a little bit of work done. So here you can see the rotted out willow that I just pulled out. See, the roots just broke completely off of this thing. It's rotted, it's got insect holes in it. It's not in great shape. So there's one more like this, and then the rest will just need a trimming. Okay, I'm back after removal of one of these entire stumps. I actually had to dig that one out. Oh, there goes somebody. Anyway, so this willow, you can see how bad it was down here at the bottom. There's some cuts there, but you can see kind of the rot there in the branches, right over here. And down here, stuff just ripped away. It was pretty much dead. So we took that out. Now over here, that's what we've got. It's a little bit more open, which I'm not real happy about because I liked having that there, but I've got a couple of viburnums in its place here that should create some summertime privacy. But the next thing is to head down that direction and start clipping the willow trees down so that I don't have this issue happen with them. Alright guys, here's where I'm at. Dead one number 1 is gone, dead one number 2 is gone, and live one number 1 is cut back to probably 3.5 foot, somewhere in that range. And with the willow, as long as I cut back the green wood, it'll stem out from that main trunk there. So like here's a good one. This one was green. That'll come out and that'll have shoots coming out all over it. So we'll see how that does, and then I'll trim back and clean it up a little bit later. But I've still got about 4 or 5 others that are pretty big. They're about 12 foot tall right now. If I switch over here, you see the piles. This is from 3. Pile number 1, shifting over, and pile number 2. And these trees were about 12 foot tall, or at least the one that was still alive was. But the idea is just to rejuvenate them, let them grow again. So I'll get back to it. And let me say one word about one thing here real quick. And I'm not sponsored by anybody to do this, but this tool has been awesome. This is the Fisker's Power Gear pruning shears, and they have plowed through 2-inch thick pieces of these willows. Now granted, willow is a softer type of wood anyway, but they've done a remarkable job, and it's been much easier than getting in here with a chainsaw in these small little twisted spots in the branches. So I highly recommend this one. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link in the description here. So if you want to check those out, I highly recommend them. I've got 2 pairs. One that's a little lesser duty of Fisker's out here. And I started with it, but this thing here is cutting through everything. And it's been great. The other tool I'm using is a bow saw, which I like to use a lot. I've had it for years and it's done a great job. But on something like this, where the branches are twisted up and kind of some of them are binding against each other, it's good to get in there with smaller tools rather than power tools, just so you can see what you're doing, especially if you're really trying to preserve the plant. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Okay, here's a problem I'm seeing that a lot of trees get, especially if they've been let go too long like I've done with these. See, all these branches are binding together like that. They're twisting up and they're going to choke each other out. So they really need to be trimmed back to where I could possibly separate them. And if you can see right here, they're actually coming together kind of creating a union of those branches really tightly right there. So I'll cut it back as best I can and hope it'll work. But if you notice, there's a lot of red growth. That's the new stuff. So this tree should be just fine once I get it trimmed back. Well guys, the sun is getting a little dim behind our trees, and I'm worn out, so I'm going to just show you what I've got done today and see what you think. There's our birch trees, and then if I come down, yep, broken swing set. Another thing I need to get done, but you'll notice here I got through 2.5 live trees and removed the 2 dead ones over there. And what will happen next is these will start flushing out with growth this spring, and at a certain point, probably late spring, I'll come back and do corrective cuts to make them all nice and neat looking. And then we should have a nice looking little hedge again from the dappled willows. So you can see here I still got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go, and a couple of the last ones are little to begin with because they're getting crowded out by the bigger ones. There's also a squirrel planted walnut tree from the black walnut trees in the area, and I'm probably going to want to cut that out because they make it harder for other plants to grow near them. So that's where we're at today. Let's see, scan through the backyard here for you. There's my blue shed. And those trees didn't all used to be there. Now our backyard gets a lot of shade in the evening, actually early afternoon. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little work day. And if you did, subscribe, and we'll catch you later.